How can you use a Weber Q grill with an RV or camper using a quick connect propane hose?
And still have the option to use the 1 pound, 5 pound, and 20 pound propane tanks.
Today, we're going to do a propane quick connect conversion on this Weber Q grill.
When we're finished with our Weber Q propane conversion, we're gonna do some campground baking. We'll try to bake an apple pie, cornbread, and chocolate chip cookies.
Do you like cookies? If a Weber Q has the dreaded low flame issue, this is going to be the fix for it. The cause is because of a bad regulator. We're going to completely remove the regulator from the grill in this situation because of our quick connects, and the camper already has its own regulator, and if you have both, they're going to fight each other. The first thing we're going to do is remove the burner tube. Then we'll move on to the regulator and knob. To remove the burner tube, we're going to undo the one screw. You rotate it up, and it pulls right out. All right, now the only two things that are holding this regulator on are the two screws on the back, and there's a nut behind the knob. Let's start with the two screws. And screw number 2. And now the regulator is loose from the bracket. And now for the last thing holding the regulator, the nut that's behind the valve. And our bad regulator's out. The only piece that we're going to salvage from this is the valve. So we're going to go ahead and take our crescent wrench and take this off of the regulator. And now that our valve and our regulator are separated, the valve is what we're going to use, and this is going in the trash. These are the fittings that we're going to use to rebuild this valve. We have our 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch fitting, we have our coupler, and we have our quick connect fitting. Today we're going to use the yellow plumber's tape versus the regular white Teflon tape, as the yellow is rated for gas. The 1/8 inch to 1/4 fitting is on the valve, so let's go ahead and put on the coupling. Mom's at home, right where we left her. Now that we've got our quick connect coupler taped up, we're going to go ahead and add it into the coupler. Now we're going to go ahead and reinstall our valve with our newly added quick connect fitting. And now our knob's on there, and our valve is back together. We're going to go ahead and take our burner tube and put it back in the same way that we took it out. We'll line our hole back up on there.
Here is how we're going to use the 1 pound, 5 pound, and 25 pound propane tanks with the Weber Q grill. We're going to use this barbecue grill hose.
And remember, if you're going to use a typical propane tank, you're going to need a regulator. Our new regulator hose has a flare fitting on one end. So we're going to go ahead and use our flare fitting adapter. Now that we have the flare fitting on the hose, we're going to add the female quick connect fitting. Make sure you check out the description because we're going to drop affiliate links to all the products that we've used today so you can check all this stuff out for yourself. So before we go ahead and hook this up to our camper with our other quick connect hose, bake our apple pies, cookies, and cornbread, let's hook it up to the regular tanks and make sure everything works. So to hook up all 3 of these different tanks, we just need to attach our quick connect to the grill. Our quick connect's on, turn our valve on. Now let's test our grill. Now the regulator on the propane tanks themselves is going to require a little fine tuning to play with your flame. But let's go ahead and turn our flame on at the grill.
It's hard to see it, but it's there.
And we'll put our grate back on and get down to business. Now to use our smaller tank, it's going to be the same situation that's on our 20 pound propane tank. To use our 1 pound Mr. Fuel keg, we're gonna take our adapter, tighten it down on the regulator. Screws right in like that. Now we're gonna show you how to use it with the camper. We've got our quick connect fitting already hooked up to the camper, so now let's go ahead and hook it up to the grill. And turn that one on. One thing to remember and be considerate of is when you're using a 20-pound tank or one of the portable tanks, that hose has an adjustable regulator on it, versus when you use a quick connect on the camper, it's already preset at a low PSI.
Let's do some baking. The first thing we're gonna bake is cornbread. I like this mix because it's just add water. The instructions say 375 degrees, and we're gonna bake it for about 30 minutes. Now, this Weber Q did not come with a thermometer, but this thing was pretty easy to add. I just bought the Weber thermometer, and then I drilled a hole and I put it in there and I attached it with the screw on the back. I'll be sure to include a link to that little guy too. Here's the setup we've got here. I've got this pan to deflect some of the heat, and then we're gonna put the cornbread right on top of it, and we're gonna put it in there and we're gonna bake it. 375, we're gonna bake this thing for about 30 minutes. Ooh.
Okay, better than I expected. A little doughy.
Well, is it hot?
Very hot. A little doughy. Thoughts? Well, it's edible. It's not crunchy. It doesn't have quite the consistency that you'd like out of cornbread.
It looks good.
It does look good. It's edible, and it's very hot. And it's also 2 months expired.
We forgot to tell you that it expired 2 months ago. All right, let's make some cookies.
Cookies up next. Next on Martha Stewart Camping, chocolate chip cookies on the barbecue grill. If our cornbread was any sign, there might be hope for this, because the cornbread wasn't bad. Just a sheet of parchment.
All right, 8 cookies.
8 cookies on the barbecue grill.
5 minutes in, we're gonna take a peek at the bottom. We feel like they're a little dark on the bottom. Oh yeah, they're a little dark on the bottom. Let's flip them and cook them the other half.
I don't have high hopes for this round of cookies, but the next ones we're gonna do just like we did the cornbread and put the parchment paper on top of this and use the tray to deflect some of the heat. All right, so our timer's up on our cookies. Don't have high expectations for these, but let's check them out. They smell like overdone cookie for sure. All right, well, before we check these out, we've got our tray that we cooked our other ones on.
So we'll try them like this.
We're gonna do round 2. Like that.
10 minutes.
Oh, those are crispy cookies, and they are very soft still.
All right, they're cooling off. I think burnt might be a strong word.
Burnt is the right word.
Thoughts?
They taste a little burnt. Ann, come here.
What did you think of my cookies?
I don't like them.
You don't like them?
Cookie expert says no.
All right, maybe the next batch.
Maybe a cup of coffee will make these cookies suck a little less. We've got the Yeti French press, and man, does it make a good cup of coffee.
Yeah, this thing makes a good cup of coffee.
And it's 64 ounces, so everybody in your group gets a cup of coffee.
If you like to drink coffee when you're camping, this thing works great. We've been using this for a couple of trips now. We should probably take off the label, but it looks so cool we decided to leave it on.
Let's check the cookies.
What do you think?
We're gonna do 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes, let's let them go. Yeah.
Not burnt. Perfect.
Let's let those things cool down, and then we'll get our expert to try them out.
So our cookies are out. They look pretty well cooked.
Bottom looks good.
Bottom looks good.
Top looks good. How do they taste? Let's give it a taste. Thoughts? You want a cookie? Mmm.
Yum.
How yummy?
What? Are they good?
Yeah.
Mmm, yummy. All right, our expert says, yeah?
Yeah. Cookies are delicious.
She thinks our baking's delicious. Leave us a comment below and tell us what you think. Well, we've done cornbread and we've done cookies. Now for the pie.
Just under 400? What's the box say?
The box says we need to bake this at 400 for just over an hour and then add the crumbles.
All right, let's do it.
I have to hold.
Okay. Oh, wow. Whew, that's hot. Let's get this thing. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's bubbling and it's looking pretty good. Gotta let this thing cool off.
What do you think?
I think that's a good looking pie.
That's a daggone good looking pie. Let's get a piece out of there and see what it looks like. Oh, yeah. Well, it held together. Well, for being cooked on the grill, I think that looks pretty daggone good. All right, what does our resident expert have to say? Is it good? Yeah? Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Would you eat that pie? Especially camping. I know I'm gonna.
If you're into camping like we are, be sure to subscribe to the channel because we make camping related videos like these all of the time.
Thanks for watching.
Yummy, yummy.